are live, Joel, just so you know. And we're gonna wait a few minutes. And we're also gonna mute my phone so it's not buzzing. And we still have a good minute before. About 5 minutes ago, we were still trying to get Facebook Live on my laptop. And apparently I need some kind of a plug-in. So tech issues aside, we're here and we are getting ready to do some yoga. I can see a couple people are hopping on. Can you see and hear all right? So for today, if you're just getting on, you can have a mat. Really, you don't have to have anything, but maybe something cushioning underneath of you. A blanket nearby, get cozy at the end. And it's always nice to have blocks if they're around. Tin cans do the same thing. So if you want to grab a couple of those things, have them around. And we're going to do a slow flow today. So, go ahead and get started. You can always go back. And you can start in any seated pose today. Propping yourself up maybe in hero's pose or on your bottom with crisscross. You can sit on a blanket, have a blanket under the heels or a little block. Something to lift up your hips just a little bit, getting a little bit of a quad stretch today. And then see if you can stack your shoulders over your hips. And at the top of your head, reach up toward the sky. And take some breaths here in and out. Hi! Hi, Lisa! Lisa, did you notice what props I mentioned grabbing? You can comment down there if you want. If you have a block or something to kind of sit on a blanket, anything at all, really. Alright. Maybe for real this time. Oh, there we go. Hi, Lisa. Alright. Let's start seated. No problem, Lisa. You can sit on the floor, on a mat, on a blanket. I just happen to have blocks here. Well, starting seated today and honoring your practice wherever you are today. So if there's a pose that doesn't serve you today, leave it out. If you know something you want to add in, or if you just want to sit back and listen to the music, you are absolutely welcome to. So just for now, sitting up on your six bones, maybe even shifting a little side to side. Really notice where the bottom of the pelvis is. And take some breaths in and out. There's nothing you need to change about your breath. Just see what's there in this moment. See how you're feeling. And let your shoulders sink down, maybe give them a roll. And then notice all the points where you're connected to the floor. That's where your feet are, your legs, those sits bones. Notice how your clothes feel against your skin. And notice sounds you hear, maybe in your own space. Maybe there's others in your home or a pet. Or maybe you hear a clock. Maybe you're doing laundry. Maybe your heat kicks on or off. Mine just did. And then notice your breath once again. And bring your hands to your low torso, letting them rest there. Maybe the tips of the fingers touch. And just for now, breathing, and as you inhale, letting the stomach rise up and out into the hands. As you exhale, a gentle sinking. So filling up and releasing. One breath at a time. Maybe this feels different than your natural breath. That's okay. It's just a practice for today. And slide the hands up now to the rib cage, resting them there. And feel your breath here. The expansion of the lungs as they fill. And the gentle release. Expanding. Releasing back toward the spine. Once more, shifting the hands, this time bring them up to just under the collarbones on the upper chest. And here, maybe there's a slightly more subtle movement. Let's see what's there for you in this one. And rise and fall, be in the now. And leave one hand here and bring one hand back down to the low torso. Can you feel your heartbeat? Maybe you notice thoughts, feelings on your mind. See what's there. What's your mood? How are you doing right now in this moment? Big shift taking place. And it's okay. You are okay. All you need to do right here, right now is be and breathe. Take a big inhale now. Fill up the lungs as much as you can and pause at the top of that breath. Maybe release your hands down. Open mouth, blow all the air out. When you're ready, inhale, fill up again. Pause at the top. See something beautiful. And then release that breath too. One last time because it feels good. Inhale, fill up, up, up. Pause and let it go. Slowly, maybe blink the eyes open. If you're up on a block or kneeling, come on down to your bottom, crisscross or send the legs out in front of you, whatever feels good in this moment. And bring the right hand to the floor next to your left hand onto the shoulder. Lift that left elbow out to the side and then tip over toward the right. Your right elbow can bend slightly as you lean. And think about sending that left sits bone back toward the floor. Optional here, reach that left hand up and over. Notice if your chin is tucking and see if you can let the top of your head reach in the same direction as those left fingers. Breathing here. And you still feel the low stomach rising as you inhale, gently releasing as you exhale. We'll come back to center now, releasing left hand down. Bring the right hand onto the shoulder here, tipping over toward the left. Root down through that right sits bone. Optional, send that right hand, the top of the head, reaching in the same direction as those right fingertips. Breathing softer and smoother. Maybe a little bit longer now. And then as you're ready, following your breath, when you inhale, come through center. When you exhale, tip to one side or the other. Breathing in, finding center. Breathing out, tipping to one side or the other. And be curious about this movement. Does it feel good to pause and hold? Or continue flowing side to side? You might also, instead of coming up and over like you're painting a rainbow, sweep forward and around. Add some variation. And we'll slowly meet back at center. And bring our hands to our hearts, letting the thumbs connect to the sternum, the bone right there in the middle of the chest. Sink your shoulders down. Take a breath here. Notice how that small movement is feeling in your body. I see folks saying hi to me. My phone's far enough away I can't read it. But hi back to all of you. Breathing in. And breathing out. Let's do some stretches for the wrists. Send both hands forward, thumbs up, and then tuck the thumb in and gently wrap all your fingers around, keeping your arms as straight as possible. Tip the thumb forward, the fist forward here. So I'm going to turn slightly to the side just so you can see. Arms are straight. We're just a slight tip forward. So maybe you feel a stretch across that forearm here. And also, maybe you don't feel a thing. But sometimes, especially if we're doing a lot of typing or texting, this can be a nice little release for the wrists. Are you still breathing? Let it be softer, smoother. A little bit longer now. Go ahead and let that go. Give the fingers some stretches out. And then circle the wrists. No particular fashion, just circling. And as you circle the wrists, kind of notice what the arms are doing. Are they really flailing around? Circle the other way. Just noticing. Noticing how things are moving. And then pause back at center and see if you can bring stillness to the forearm and upper arm as you rotate the wrists. Whatever direction you're drawing, the hands can go the same way or opposite. Bring as much stillness as possible to the forearm. So really slow this movement down. And you're into the wrist here. We're breathing. Reversing directions now. Softer, smoother breath. Good, and let that go too. Bring the right hand in front of you, pinky edge out, palm forward. And then the left hand holding onto the wrist and just behind that pinky. Take the elbows in opposite directions and then squeeze your shoulder blades towards one another. A gentle little move movement here, up and down of the wrist if you like. Thumb to pinky. Keep breathing. Holding steady once again, wiggle those right fingers. And then switching sides. So the left hand's out, pinky up, palm forward. Right hand just behind the pinky here, by the wrist. Drawing the elbows in opposite directions. Soften the left finger, squeeze the shoulder blades back, and breathe. Creating just a little bit of space in the joint here. Studying right now biomechanics with a really wonderful yoga teacher. And one of the things we talked about in this book club that we're doing is that during this time, go ahead and release that and lower the hands down. During this time, we're going to notice some changes happening in our practice if we're regular practitioners, and that is essentially that we're going to need to be gentle as we move back into studio practices, just because we're not going to be quite as used to it. So those little wrist stretches that we just did right now, if you start incorporating those in daily, they're going to help support you as you move back into transitioning to your studio practice. So let's come over on the hands and knees stack under the hips, and go ahead and peek back between the legs. If you see your feet, hide them behind your thighs, and then bring the gaze to neutral, hands in line with the shoulders, either right under the shoulders or a little bit wide, and then at the top of your head, reach forward. Relax the stomach down, lift your tail, lift your head and heart, and move down through the palms, the fingertips, and then reverse this. Lift the spine on up, tuck the tail, tuck head, tuck heart. Inhale, relaxing the stomach down, squeeze your shoulder blades together this time. Exhale, round the spine on up, tuck head, tuck tail. Moving back and forth with your breath now. Maybe try seeing what it feels like to let the head be the last thing to lower and the last thing to lift up. Inhales as you lift, exhales, rounding down. One more time, take your time, follow your breath, finding center. And step the left foot toward the back of the mat, plugging the toes into the mat here. And then notice if your left hip wants to lift up here. See if you can bring that left hip so that both hips are square to the mat. Optional, reach the right hand forward, turn the thumb toward the sky, palm faces in, and maybe the arm reaches up in line with that right ear. And then feel your ribs knit towards your hip bones, getting real strong through the midsection, and maybe start to lift those left toes up. The heel can come up to in line with that left hip, no higher, just drawing a real straight line from the fingertips all the way to the heel. Breathe now. Optional movement as you exhale, taking the knee toward the elbow under your body. As you inhale, reaching long again. Practicing lots of balance here. Move slow and steady. Move strong. Take one more crunch. Hold one more breath and reach, reach, reach. And release the knee. Release the hand. Reach your left hand on up to the sky. As you exhale, thread it through underneath, bringing the shoulder toward the floor, and then inhale, reach it right back up again. Thread the needle. Exhale, thread through. Inhale, on up to the sky. One more time and land it this time. Your right hand can stay where it is, or it can reach on out forward, or wrap around your back. that right hand on up and down, planted in front of your eyes. Press through the hand, and as you inhale, reach your left hand on up to the sky one more time, and slowly land it. Right toes this time, step toward the back of the mat, reaching through that heel. Optional, reach the left hand forward this time. The arm may be up in line with that left ear, palm and thumb up. Engage through your midsection and maybe start to lift the right toes on up off the mat, no higher than your hip here. Breathing. You might notice a little wobble. It's okay. Keep breathing. Optional, little movement. Elbow toward the knee underneath. Inhales, reach it long again, nice and slow. And you can do the same number of these crunches on this side. I think I did 3. It's okay if you don't remember. I'm going to do an extra one just for good measure. Reaching long and holding, keep breathing, keep breathing. And slowly lower the knee. Lower the hand, right hand's gonna lift on up. Exhale, thread it through without landing yet. Reach on up again. Exhale to thread through. One more time now, all the way up this time. And all the way through. If it's okay, you can land onto that right shoulder. You can also keep right on threading, reaching, and lowering if you want that movement. Bring the hand in front of the eyes, left hand planted. Inhale, right hand on up. And exhale, land that right hand. Walk the hands ahead of your shoulders this time and start to circle the hips round and round. It can be any size circle that you want. You can stay near the top or sink the hips forward and then back toward the heels. Maybe letting your breath guide the movement here. Inhales forward, exhales back toward the heels. And anytime you're ready, reverse direction. Circle the other way. Finding center, bring the hands back in line with the shoulders. And 2 options here. Keep the hips stacked over the knees and then walk the hands forward again, sinking your heart toward the floor and bringing the forehead down to the floor, or stacking the forehead onto the hands, making a little tower, puppy pose. The other pose option, take your knees really long, then bring your toes to touch and sink your hips towards your heels and slowly melt on down toward the mat. Again, you can stack your hands for a little cushion under the forehead or let the forehead meet the earth for child's pose. Breathe here. Be reminded of your breath. Check in with how you're doing. How are you feeling? How are you really? And know that whatever is coming up is absolutely okay. And know that you are exactly where you need to be, right here, right now. Let's rise up, planting hands, on up to knees. Bring the knees back in line with the hips, and tuck the toes underneath. Spread the fingers out nice and wide, rooting down to the base of the hand, across the fingertips, across all the knuckles. Sink your hips slightly toward your heels and then lift your knees on up and lift your tail to the sky just like you lifted your tail as we were doing those cats and cows. Little down dog here. You can look back towards your thighs here. If down dog doesn't serve you, stay right on your knees and find that puppy pose. We'll be making our way to a forward fold at the top of the mat, so however you best do that, peek forward. Walk the feet all the way on up. And then a little bend in the knees. Relaxing the head toward the earth, optional. Having your head below your heart like that makes you feel a little lightheaded. Bring your arms onto your thighs and take your gaze slightly forward. So either way, you can add a little sway here, side to side. You might even interlace your hands and bring them to the back of your neck and onto the ridge of your skull here. Just gently sway. Ready, release the hands down and slide the hands up the front of your legs until the arms straighten. Look forward, straightening the legs just until you feel a stretch here. Send the heart forward. And then as you exhale, bend back into that forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Sweep your arms open to the sides and start to look up. Rise all the way up to the sky. Reach your arms, look up. And exhale. Bring your hands down to your heart. Alright, so you're at the top of your mat now. If you're not there, make your way on up to the top. And our feet are right under our hips here. And you can do a little hop. Let them land. They know right where to go. Knees are forward. A little tiny bend in the knees. We're not locking out the knees here. Lift up through the heart. And take a breath here. Notice how it feels to come up to standing. We'll do some half sun salutations. So with that, as you're ready, sweep your arms out to the sides. Look up. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, dive all the way down. Lead with your heart, send it forward. Inhale, rise halfway. The hands can slide up the legs, heart forward, gaze forward. Exhale, fold on down again. Bend the knees, sweep the arms open, reach on up to the sky. Exhale, bring it into the heart. So that's our half sun salute. So following your breath now, I'll cue it, but let your breath be your first guide. Inhale, sweeping up, gazing. Exhale, hinge at the hips like you're folding laundry over a clothesline on a beautiful summer day. Inhale, rise up halfway. Hands slide up the legs. Notice where your weight is. Can you let it be even in your feet, not dumping in the heels or in the toes? Exhales to fold. Sweep it all the way on up. Lead with the heart once again. Nose up, gaze up. Exhale, back to the heart. Let's take 2 breaths here. Inhale, breathe through the nose if you can. Open mouth, blow all the air out. Inhale, fill up again. Open mouth, let it go. This time as we inhale, sweeping up, gaze forward. Hinge at the hips, dive all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold on down, and this time bend the knees enough to plant your hands and step the feet back, coming down to hands and knees. Send the right foot toward the back of the mat, and then take a big step forward. You can use your right hand on the back of the calf to assist it, and maybe stacking the knee over the ankle here if that feels good. But really, today, our focus is squaring our hips towards the front of our mat and keeping that right knee in instead of letting it tip out and open to the side. So here you can be up on your fingertips. If you happen to have blocks, you can have your hands on blocks or tin cans. You can also bring your hands up onto that right thigh. Little balance work here. Feel free to tuck your left toes under and breathe. Now you can hold steady here, or you can add a little movement by beginning to straighten the front leg. Let the toes lift up. Left hip will stack over that left knee, getting a stretch for our right hamstring. See what you feel here. Lift your heart up as much as you can. Inhales, come back forward into that lunge. Nice and slow. Now you can exhale into the Hurdler stretch. See where you notice this. Maybe the hamstring, even into the glutes. Inhales forward again. Come forward into that lunge. With an inhale, slowly sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend the elbows, open up into cactus arms. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhales, cactus. Inhales to the sky. Exhales, cactus. We're going to add on. Inhale, reach up. This time as you exhale, slowly send your left arm forward and your right arm back as you twist your torso toward that right knee. Hug that right knee in towards your midline. Breathe here. Then slowly inhale back to center. Reach the arms up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale, reach up. And this time, right arm forward, left arm back. See how this feels. Inhale, center. Exhale, cactus one more time. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands on down to the mat. Now plant that left hand. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, reach the right hand on up to the sky. Your left foot can become a kickstand here, so you can lift that foot up and let it pivot out toward the left edge, and then slowly start to heel toe your right foot toward the back of the mat. You're going to turn open to the side of your mat, reach your right hand on up, reach through the right foot. See if you can land the pinky edge on the mat. And then get really long, reach the right arm forward, and reach through that pinky toe edge. Breathe here. Reach the right arm back toward the sky, lifting the right foot up to in line with the hip. Breathe here. The top of your head reaches toward the top of your mat. Slowly land the foot now, and then slowly pivot and land that right hand and the right knee. Take some hip circles. Notice your heartbeat. Notice how the right side of your body feels. Circle the other way. We're going to do all that same movement for the left side now. Find center. Bring the hands in line with the shoulders. If you scooch them ahead, the left foot will step toward the back of the mat. And then a big step forward. Left hand can support this movement. Maybe stack the left knee over the ankle. You can come up on the fingertips or hands on the thigh. Your choice. Breathe here. And this time working on keeping that right hip square to the front of the mat, not sinking it back. When you're ready, you can add movement here if you like. The left toes will peel up off the mat as you begin to straighten the left leg. Hip stacks over the right knee. Inhales back into that lunge. Just a gentle back and forth. You can inhale forward and exhale back. Be reminded of your breath. Not only the inhales and the exhales following, but see if they can really guide your movement here. Can you feel the expansion and the release? Let's come back forward into that lunge and slowly rise on up, reaching arms on up, hips stay square to the front, the right hip too. Exhale, cactus arms, elbows out to your sides. Inhales up. Exhales, 90-degree bend at those elbows. Inhales, reach. One more, and then adding on. Exhales, cactus. Inhale, reaching up. This time real slow. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. If you went the other way, don't worry about it. We're going to go that way in a minute. Inhale, back to center. We'll do a cactus arm here. Inhale up, left arm forward, right arm back. This time twisting away from the left leg. Inhale, back to center. One more cactus arm just for good measure. Inhales, reaching. Exhales, hands down to the mat. Plant through that right hand. Reach the left hand out, twisting your heart toward that left knee. Watch for it to tip out. Bring it back in towards your heart. Breathe here. Our right foot will become the kickstand this time. Just tipping out toward the right and slowly heel toe that left foot to the back of your mat. Reach through the pinky toe edge and then send that left arm up and over your left ear and go really, really long. Maybe even arch that left side up toward the sky. Top of your head, where is it reaching? Let it be long, let the breath flow. And slowly unwind, reaching that left hand up again. Reach through the left heel, maybe lift that leg up. Reaching through the heel, the foot is flexed here. Hand reaches up, up, up. And then slowly back to tabletop. Knee and hand land. Hip circles, round and round. Reversing directions when you're ready. Finding center now and slowly lowering on down to your stomach. Bring the elbows in under the shoulders and spread the fingers out nice and wide here, planting the hands. Tops of the feet press down into the mat. See if you can spread your toes out a little bit here. Send your hip bones down, lift your heart up, and then you can pretend that the front side of your body's on a skateboard and draw yourself forward with your hands. Give a little traction, breathe. Now, adding a little bit of sneaky strength work here. See what happens if you press on the top of the feet and then slowly roll your back up, bringing your hips in line with your shoulders. And then slowly roll back down. Now, if that didn't serve you, hold steady in that Sphinx pose. As you exhale, you can roll up and inhale back down. One more. Good. Now, keeping the hands spread wide. Maybe lift the elbows a tiny little bit or up to the arms, straightening here. Keep the shoulders down, squeeze the shoulder blades towards one another, slowly lower. Inhales, lifting. Exhales, lowering down. Your pace now, rising up. Lowering down. Up we go. Slow, lower down. Good. Let the elbows kick out to the side. Stack the hands. Rest the forehead on the backs of the hands. And then bend the knees and sway the feet side to side. When you're ready, release the feet on down. And send your arms down by your hips and turn onto a cheek. And let your elbows bend enough so that your shoulders sink down into the mat. If you are wearing glasses, I highly recommend take them off in this moment so that they're not pressing on the bridge of your nose or the side of your face. You might choose to close your eyes here, crocodile pose. And just notice your breath. And maybe you notice a little freedom of the breath through the back side of the body here. Or maybe you notice the pressure of the breath against the front side. Can you feel the expanse and release, the rise and fall? Breathing into the earth, being held and supported and nourished. And slowly lift the head, and switching sides, rest on the other cheek now. Breathing softer and smoother. And a little bit longer now. And slowly bring the gaze back to center, lifting your head up. Bring your hands up in line with your shoulders and press yourself up to hands and knees, and then either into puppy's pose or child's pose from earlier. Puppy pose, once again, hips over the knees, sinking the heart forward and bringing the forehead either onto your hands or onto your mat. Child's pose, take the knees wide, let the toes kiss, sink the hips toward the heels, and then either those stacked hands for the forehead to rest on or the mat. You might also bring your hands into prayer and take the thumbs to the nape of your neck here. Release the hands now, rising up. We're going to make our way onto our backs for the rest of class. So if you happen to have a blanket nearby that you would like under your head, or maybe you'll want it over top of you for our final resting, have that nearby. Relayer at some socks here, or maybe a sweatshirt if you like. And then make your way onto your back. And once you land there, hug your knees in towards your chest. You might cross your ankles. The knees could go wide or stay toward one another. Add circles or rocking up and down or side to side. What feels good? Eventually back to center. Land the feet now and take the arms open to a T. Your gaze is toward the ceiling. Feet are about hip distance apart. Just like earlier when we did that little jump and landed in our mountain pose. Here you can lift both feet up and tap, tap, tap the floor, and your feet will go right where you want. Press through the heels now and slowly lift your hips upward. See if you can lift them up even. As you exhale, slowly float the hips back down to the mat. Let's do that again. Root through the heels this time. Inhale as you lift up an inch. It could be more. It doesn't have to be. What feels good. Check in. Exhale, float back down. One more time, then we'll add on. As you're lifting, notice if your knees want to splay out to the side. See if you can keep them parallel to one another. Exhale, floating back down. When the hips land, lift the feet up, stacking the knees over the hips and bringing the front of the leg, the shins, parallel to the ceiling. Exhale, slowly reach the heels up to the sky. Inhale, bend the knees. And exhale, land the feet on the back. Alright, all together. Root through heels, inhale, lifting hips, bridge pose. Exhale, float on down. Inhale to stack the knees. Exhale, heels up. Inhale, bending the knees. Adding on, exhale, take a twist to the right, keeping your left shoulder glued to the floor. So only twist as far as what serves you while keeping that left shoulder glued. Inhale, bring it back to the center. Exhale, twist over to the left. Right shoulder stays glued. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, land the feet. All together. Root through heels. Inhale, lifting the hips. Exhale, float on down. Follow your breath. It's not important if you're keeping time with my cues. Lifting the feet now. Inhale. Exhale, heels up. Inhale to bend. Exhale to twist, whatever side you feel like twisting toward. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist the opposite direction. Inhale to center. And exhale, land those feet. One last time. Root through heels, inhale, rise. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhale to stack the knees. Exhale, reach the heels up. Inhale to bend. Exhale to take a twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist again. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, feet to the mat. Let the knees tip open to the sides now, bringing the bottoms of the feet together. And your arms can stay where they are. They can reach toward the back of the room, overhead, or you could float your hands down to your low torso or your ribs. And take some breaths now. Remind yourself, one breath at a time. Know that you are exactly where you need to be. Nothing else matters. And just for now, here on your mat, everything is okay. Slowly bring the knees back to center. Maybe sway the knees side to side. And you'll make your way into your final resting pose now. If you want, staying right where you are. Bringing in a blanket. Cuddling up. I'm going to play some music for you as you drift and dream. And as you give yourself this time, permission to just be. Thank you so much for being here with me. We'll bring you back in a little bit. Get cozy. You could choose to close the eyes. Breathing in, breathing out. One breath at a time. a breath in through the nose and fill up your lungs. Pause at the top, open mouth, blow all that air out. Breathe in, fill up, up, up again. Pause at the top. And this time let a sound or sigh come out. One last time, fill up as you're ready, all the way up. And when you're ready, let that breath go to sound, sigh it out. Gently begin to bring yourself back to this space. And enjoy this transition from stillness to wakefulness. Knowing you have all the time you need. Bring back some movement. Maybe wiggle the toes. And wiggle the fingers. And turn the head gently side to side. Maybe bend the knees and plant the feet if you're on your back. And maybe windshield wiper the legs side to side for a moment. And then choose whether you want to rest just as you are for a breath or two longer, or curl up on your side, tucking your knees up toward your ribs, and take a couple of breaths there. And when you're ready, press yourself on up to seated. And thank you all for joining Joel and me this evening, or whenever you happen to be tuning in. We'll be posting this so that you can access it and you can share it anytime, any place. Thank you so much for this time for you. It's an honor to be here and to hold space during this time. Know that no matter how far apart we are connected in light and in love, from our hearts to yours. Be well and have peace in your heart. Namaste. Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Bye.